we need to make sure that we've accepted it the right way first. Now, if you've established yourself as a single member LLC, the government has given you a very important number. It's called the EIN number. And I give you an EIN number, almost like a social security number, for your business. Because it is. It's truly how your business is identified. It's the number that you present to your bank when you want to open up a bank account. And it's the number that you need when you decide that you want to grow your business credit or apply for a loan.
If you haven't claimed your $610 driver's stimulus, then you need to do this. So Congress, they just announced a new stimulus program that's putting $610 back into the pockets of drivers. Finally, something for the people that will get the positive notification there. So we have to thank Congress for this. And look, there's no secret that Americans have been driving way less this year, right? So that means insurance companies have been raising the insurance profit. And that's exactly why Congress raised this program in the first place. Pass that money back to us. Pass that money back to the drivers. Do something for us, right? But of course, insurance companies, they don't want to see it happen. So they've been working hard to keep it a secret, to protect their profit. To keep it a secret long enough so you never know about it, and they can do this program. And I can only guess that your insurance company has not told you about this whatsoever, at all. They just haven't. And if you're in that boat, don't worry. In fact, most Americans still have not yet claimed theirs and are urged to do so because the funds will run out. They will. They just will. Because they've been working so hard to keep it secret. So if you want to claim yours, click the link down below. Very simple. You can answer a few quick questions to see how much you can put back into your pocket. It takes about a minute to claim up to $610. So again, click the link down below and let's put some money back into your pocket for once.
Meet EditorX, the world's most advanced website design platform, made for you, the creator who sees the invisible. Your skill requires custom breakpoints to design responsive web experiences for any screen size imaginable. Your precision demands absolute design control to define the style, position, and focus of every element at every breakpoint. Your creativity needs the power of Flexbox technology to build intricate layouts that seamlessly adjust between viewports. Your drive calls for integrated business solutions to take your ideas from concept to production all in one place. You deserve a platform to create your best work yet. EditorX, the rest is up to you.
So this number is going to be extremely important to you. The EIN number, however, needs to be set up, which means you need to go take it to a bank and you need to establish your business bank account. Now, once the business bank account is established and we have our candle business, we can accept this $100,000 through our single member LLC. But now the next question becomes, how do we pay ourselves? If we were to move money over to ourselves in our personal bank account, without doing anything formal or running payroll to any type of company as ADP or Carla Dennis and Associates, then we have taken what's called a distribution. What a distribution means is that we've simply just distributed money to ourselves. Let's say that we decided to distribute $20,000 to ourselves. Does this mean that our business receives a $20,000 deduction over here? It does not. And part of the reason why our business doesn't receive a deduction when we're a single member LLC, writing ourselves a check, or just moving money over, or selling ourselves, or even Venmoing ourselves. The reason why we as business owners do not get a deduction for paying ourselves as a single member LLC is because we aren't processing payroll with a payroll company, and we aren't taxed as an S corporation. When you're a single member LLC, you are just what's called a shareholder. And as a shareholder, you can take income to yourself, and you can also pay your employees. However, when you pay your employees, you receive a deduction for this. But when you pay yourself, you receive no deduction. And this is what hurts a lot of my single member LLC clients because they'll get into their business and start growing their finances, but then they get to a place where they want to start paying themselves, but they're not getting a deduction every single time they pay themselves. So then they come to their tax guy and say, hey, is there anything I could have done to reduce my tax bill? And then they find out later that they should have switched over to an S corp in order to receive this deduction for paying themselves on the tax return. So let's talk a little bit more about how an LLC can switch over to an S corp to pay ourselves out of our S corporation. If we're an LLC, in order for us to switch over to an S corp, we're going to need to do two things. We're going to need to complete a 2553 form and an 8832 form. These two forms right here are how the LLC transitions over into an S corporation. Well, one of the things that we have to understand about the S corp is that the S corp has a lot of rules. And one of the rules of the S corp is that you have to give yourself reasonable compensation, which is a salary. Not to mention, you need to make sure that you're filing your tax returns on time, which is March 15th instead of April 15th. So when we get over into this S corporation, what does it mean to take reasonable compensation? What does it mean to have a salary? Well, when you think about a job that you've ever had before in your life, just think about any type of job you had, whether it's working for 7-Eleven, whether it's being a bellhop, whether it's being a Lyft driver or an Uber driver. You were given a wage based on what you were doing. And it was deemed reasonable based on what you were doing. But if you're a business owner and you're making money, you may have an extravagant business. You may be a YouTube star. You may be someone who's behind the camera just selling themselves online. Your business can be a number of different things. So you have to try to determine a reasonable compensation for yourself based on the income you're making, but not just the income that you're grossing. You want to base reasonable compensation based on net income after all of your expenses. So if you're someone who's making really good money, but you end up having tons of expenses to offset that really good money, you're never really in a position where you're taking a huge reasonable compensation. So let's talk about it. Let's say I made $300,000 in my business, but then after all expenses, and I had $200 in expenses, I was left with $100,000 in taxable income. Well, even though I grossed $300,000, this was my gross business income, I am not going to be able to pay myself over $100,000 because my taxable income is only $100,000. And being that my business's net income is $100,000, this is the net of the business. Now that I understand the net of the business, me, the employee, the S corp owner, the employee of the S corp, I need to take a reasonable compensation from that business that I own. And a reasonable compensation is not all of the money that the business made. It's a portion of the money that the business made. When you think about companies like Nike, Google, Microsoft, they're not dumping all of the money that they have in their bank accounts out to their employees in reasonable compensation. They're giving set salaries to set employees based on what they think is reasonable. Just like you're going to give yourself inside of your S corporation a set salary based on what you feel is reasonable. Now, I understand that you're not the IRS and you're not a tax accountant, so this is where you need to partner with one to figure out what's reasonable based on your net income. In my office, we have a rule of thumb. We have a rule of thumb that it never makes sense to take less than 30% of net income from your business. So if we had $100,000 taxable income, then at the very least, we're going to take a $30,000 payroll deduction that's going to end up flowing over to our personal tax returns where we are. Okay? However, in the business, I have now finally received this deduction that I've been looking for. And
Once you complete it, leave it in the refrigerator for
who are making more than
24 hours. And once you 24 hours are up, check it and see if you want to smell, you want to add this or add that. Kind of tweak it towards your nose, how you really want it to smell, and basically make it to a perfume or unisex, which is use a carrying oil, because this is raw ingredients.
We're going to pay Solstice Premium
This
Medicare
is
tax
Deontay
of
Jones from
7.65%.
Lavelle
We're going
Fragrancez.
to not pay 15.3% on that.